In our text, the first chapter is called Communication, Begin Right Here. So where do we begin? I think it's important that we reach some type of common understanding of what exactly communication is and how we each define it as individuals. Now, the book defines communication as the deliberate or accidental transfer of meaning. So that means, along with the messages you intend to send, you are frequently sending messages that aren't intentional. Quite often this is via your nonverbal behavior, such as your tone of voice, facial expression, or body language. One thing is for sure, whenever one person comes in contact with another and experiences their behavior and attributes meaning to it, communication has occurred. We are going to be using what's called the transactional model of communication as the basis for our study this semester. The transactional model of communication includes people, and we call them senders-receivers, because while we're sending messages, we're also receiving messages. These people, or senders-receivers, are exchanging a variety of messages, and a message is anything that contains communication value. They're sending them back and forth through a variety of channels. The human voice, through email or text messaging, Twitter feeds, Facebook updates, letters, mass media. There's a whole range of ways that human beings send messages to one another. Now, these various channels and these messages are sent within a variety of contexts. It could be at school, at home, in a professional setting, interactions with your doctor or an attorney or with a teacher. But these various contexts always impact communication, whether it's the physical location of the communication, the people involved, or the relationships or status of the people involved. Sometimes noise gets in the way, and we'll be studying the various types of noise that can impede our communication. So it's important to remember that as hard as we try, every message we send will not always be received as intended. So let's get this journey started and learn more about communication. Did you know that there are certain true facts about communication that cannot be avoided? They're all available in your book, so I want you to spend some time reading Chapter 1 and getting a good grasp of this information, because it's the foundation of everything we'll do the rest of the semester. So for example, did you know that communication has no opposite? Did you know that communication is impacted by culture? And did you know that you cannot not communicate? Well, we've started the journey. It's time for you to start investigating these ideas by reading your chapter. We're going to be studying a lot of different types of communication this semester. Intrapersonal communication, that's communication within the self, and that's tied into our perception and our self-concept, how we think and feel about ourselves. We're going to study how words and nonverbal behaviors give us a language, a grammar that we can use to interact with others. And when we talk about interacting with others, we're talking about interpersonal communication. And that's how our communication works with friends, significant others, coworkers, and all the other people we come in contact with over the course of our lives. When we come in contact with people, we'll frequently form larger collectives beyond one or two people, and we call these small groups. And communication functions in a very specific way in small groups. Also connected to small groups is the notion of leadership, and how leaders utilize communication to achieve goals and motivate those that they lead and influence the behavior of those around them. And of course, we're going to spend some time discussing public speaking. We'll start with informative speaking. We'll talk about audience analysis and how important it is to select the topic that's right for you and do your homework and research and prepare and rehearse. We're going to move on to persuasion, when we try to influence the behavior of others. And we'll talk about those Aristotelian proofs, ethos, logos, pathos, and how, although ancient, they still support us today as we send messages to persuade others. So come on, it's going to be a great semester, and this first chapter is where it all begins. Be sure to look in Blackboard for all the assignments, activities, and websites I want you to visit for this week and prepare for class. See you in the classroom.